morning, and God bless you. Welcome to the Gospel according to Kinison, and I am the man. I am your illustrious host, Bill Kinison, and I'm excited to be here today. And Sherry, what a week, what a month we have had. And
we always had beautiful, wonderful December celebrations.
I remember somebody told me, this was years ago, and the Kinisons had went through some stuff, losing people and loved ones and all that. And I remember he said, I got to say one thing about the Kinisons. And I said, what's that? He said, you're the best survivors I've ever seen in my life. And I guess but I'm tired of being a survivor. I want to be an overcomer.
Good morning, Scott Ross.
Scott Ross! I love that man.
Yes, him and
I do love Scott and his daughter, beautiful daughter.
Him and Sydney are just...
They are...
doing wonderful. Good morning, Don and Cheryl.
Don and Cheryl Morin. He called yesterday and was talking to you, and I said, Sherry, we have new friends now. Tell him we have new friends. She said, no, we don't.
We don't.
But I love Don and Cheryl, and they're always so, not only to us, we've watched their life. They've opened up their house to people. Sometimes that they hardly even knew. And just wonderful giving people. I love them. Merry Christmas to them.
Gary Witt, good morning.
Oh, Gary Witt. We went and had lunch with him. I was in Tulsa, lasted 3 hours. And had a great time. It's great when you see old friends. You know how you know when you're friends? You haven't seen each other in a long time and you get together and it's like you haven't been apart. You just pick up where you left off. That's how I felt with Gary there in Tulsa.
Rob Caprera's watching. Good morning.
Rob?
Good morning,
Rob and I, well, don't go so fast. Rob and I have had special moments.
Okay.
We played ball together. Not when we was young. I'm talking about until COVID hit. And then we would stand after the game was over. We'd stand out in the parking lot and talk and do all kinds of stuff. I remember one time I actually talked to him so long I ran over my softball equipment with my truck. But I love Rob. He's got a fantastic grandchild, and I love him.
Jerry Nicholson.
Jerry Nicholson
is watching.
You know, he always checks on us, Sherry.
Yes, he does.
I mean, he doesn't just do it on Sunday morning. During the week, he sends us messages, and I appreciate that. I personally appreciate that.
Cindy Haas, Ingram Murphy.
Cindy!
Good morning.
We saw some of the family in Tulsa.
We did. Jerry McKinney. Bless
Jerry
you.
McKinney.
Good morning.
I love him.
He said he loves your tie.
Well, thank you. I think it's the last Christmas tie that I haven't worn. Actually, I took the price tag off of it.
Scott Ross said yes, he likes that tie too.
Other words, the uglier they get, the more they like it. Is that what they're telling us?
That's sharp.
Well, then I'm going to quit spending good money on really nice ties and just wear these cheap things.
Good morning, Jack Friedman.
Jack, we could not make it with Jack in. He had an anniversary a week ago. I didn't even know it.
I did. I said happy anniversary.
Well, thank you. It'd been nice if you would have included me in on that. I found out this week, but he and Marcy married 50 years, Sherry.
50?
Do you know how long 50 years is?
How is she put up with him? It's like me.
No. She's up for sainthood. Marcy is up for sainthood.
Well, next year will be mine. So.
And it will be. That's the reason I was going to say to you how long 50 years is, and that next August will be our 50th anniversary.
Goes so
you
fast.
Don't even look 50 years old.
Oh, yes, right. Mm-hmm.
People look at me and go, man, he must have married her when she was just a little kid.
Joe Sumter, good morning.
Joe could not make it without Joe.
Good morning.
And this seriously, because I have a lot of fun with Joe. But one day God sent Joe to our theater, Sherry.
Yes, he did.
And it hadn't been for Joe, we wouldn't even have had that theater open. And I'll never forget that. And he didn't even know us. And I remember he come and said, I want to help you. And I said, we don't have anything we can pay. He said, I don't care. I want to help you. And I have become a close friend. And I love him and his beautiful wife. He's got a beautiful wife.
Good morning, Kimberly Moore. She's watching from Houston.
All the way from Houston, Texas. Actually right over here. But love Kimberly and Mason and Steve. And, well, that's the only part of the family that we met, but she's got other children, and God love her, and beautiful lady. She's from up in my part of the country.
Illinois.
That's right, that's right.
Well, you better start preaching.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right. Well, and I think we should too. We just had Christmas, and yesterday morning, I said something, and you that saw the little video that we posted and saw my wife, you seen how she really treats me. And but I'm going to repeat.
We were having fun.
Oh, is that what you were doing? I'm glad you were having fun. Anyway, I'm sitting yesterday morning and just thinking of, you know, in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks here of Christmas, we lost our nephew and we lost your mother. And I think both of us, but I'll speak for me, thought when your mother passed, it would really be a blessing for us, because we literally have you that have knew she had Alzheimer's and had really reverted to being a little child, and we thought, man, you know, the relief would be just wonderful. And then when she did pass, we realized the hole that it left in our hearts. And it's like having a child that you have to do everything for 8 years, and all of a sudden they're not there. But I am rejoicing, and I'm sincerely happy for her. That was not a life that she would have picked. And anyway, I was thinking about that, and then I got to thinking about Christmas. And I wrote down just a little something that just kind of showed what I was thinking. Someone you know had their first Christmas without their mother or their father or their husband, wife, brother, sister, daughter, or son. You know someone that just had their first Christmas that there's an empty seat at the table. Others unknowingly have prepared for their last. Next Christmas, someone is not going to be there. And my message is to be kind, be generous, give love, and give help. That is my Christmas desire for everyone. That is my Christmas desire. And we laid, I don't know why they call it that, laid Pauline to rest last Monday. And you that watched a week ago, I was actually outside in 30-degree weather. We were not going to do the program, but my wife just kept pushing me and pushing me. And about 10 to 12, she said, you know, we can pull right over there. Where were we at? We was in Texas, but somewhere, I'm trying to...
Out in the middle of nowhere.
Well, yeah, but there was a little... Anyhow, we were in the middle of nowhere, and we pulled off, and the temperature, I think, was 30 degrees. And I was out there freezing, doing our program. Not only that, I guess we were next to a bank, and people would drive through the bank, and then they would roll down the window and go, "You look great!" And I had to act all religious because I was doing my program, or I'd have sent them a different message. But that was us a week ago. And then on Monday, we did the service and got to be reunited with some of our family members we haven't seen in some time. And then beautiful Rochelle was there, and Rochelle Ward, and I got to see this little grandbaby that when I saw a picture of it, I fell in love with her. Gary Witt was there, and come to find out, the people doing the funeral had actually went to school with my brother Kevin, and were friends. They went to school together, so it was a good time. Then we had Christmas yesterday. I know I'm taking time, but I just want to recognize a few people. We had Christmas yesterday, and we had it actually at our son-in-law's brother house, which is the first time in years we haven't had it either at our or Ginger's house, actually at ours. And I really thank God for the extended family that he gave us. Jeff and Debbie Cottrell, their parents, were there, who I love. He watches our program, and a Mormon teacher, and an attorney, so I enjoy talking to him. And then our kids was there. And then Finnegan got presents after presents after presents, and then wanted to open everybody else's presents. He just kept saying, I want presents. And just kept opening presents. And so we had a fantastic time, Sherry. And God love all of them. And we just had a great, great Christmas. I want to start off with something. I actually read this several weeks ago, but I was thinking of it this morning. It was written by a friend of Sherry and I's, Andre Crouch. And when he wrote this song, he had just got out of rehab. He had a drug problem. And he just got out of rehab. And I think his mother or someone had just had passed. And he sat down and wrote this song. And the words, I think, are just... And I think you recorded it, Sherry. If heaven was never promised to me. Did you record that?
Through it all.
Okay, we used to sing
Yes.
this. And I love the words. I want to read to them you a little bit. And it starts off with, you may ask me why I serve the Lord. Now, this is after he's went through maybe the darkest time of his life. Is it just for heaven's gain, or to walk those mighty streets of gold, and to hear the angels sing? He's asking, why do I serve the Lord? Is it just to drink from the fountain that never shall run dry, or just to live forever and ever and ever in that sweet by and by? Then he sings a chorus which answers this. But if heaven was never promised to me, neither God's promise to live eternally, it's been worth just having the Lord in my life, living in a world of darkness. You came and brought me the light. It's got a couple other verses, but I just wanted to, because people ask us all the time, Sherry, why we do this. Why do we do this program every Sunday? It's not for any gain. We don't do this for any gain. Sherry and I, and we talk about it all the time, we really sincerely, I know everybody thinks that God put them together. We really believe that God brought us into each other's life over 50 years ago. And she was a preacher's daughter, a pastor's daughter. And I was already in the ministry. And when we got married, we had the same goal, helping people. And Sherry, we preached in big churches, and we preached in the smallest churches. Never one time that I can remember did we ever go, how much are you going to pay us?
Never.
We went. And sometimes we paid to preach. She's laughing if you can't see her, but I ought to just put her right up here next to me and see the reactions that she gives me. But there was many times we prayed. I mean, we paid. And we knew going there we were going to pay to preach there. I'll never forget it here in Texas, in Fort Worth. We hoped and prayed every night there was enough money to come in to get those White Castle burgers, and I think they're only 15 cents.
That's what they were back then.
Yeah. And the reason we do this, if there's no reward at the end of the road, it doesn't make any difference to us. We want to help people. We want to improve people's lives. And we have put up with persecution. We've had preachers hate us because of the message that we teach, and that is improving your life. I don't even know how much time I got, but I want to start this morning and get a little bit on how I feel about religion. First thing I want to tell you is we must stop thinking that Jesus is going to come and make everything right. We have to quit thinking that. Let me repeat it because I want to really make it plain. Some of you's probably going to get upset. We must stop thinking that Jesus is going to come and make everything right. We must start thinking that he has given us the power to make it right. I hope you understand what I'm telling you this morning. Because I grew up in church and I was Pentecostal, and we just wanted to hang on. And you know what? That's all we did, was barely get by and hang on. Our testimony would be, I want you all to pray that I can hold on to the end. Well, I want you to quit praying that stuff. I want you to quit looking out there in the sky and waiting for Jesus to come and he's going to make everything right. No, he gave you power. What do you think an overcomer is? Because he said, I want you to be an overcomer. An overcomer is one that overcomes anything in his life. I want you to be successful, wealthy, healthy, wise, and full of joy. I'm trying to keep from just yelling, but I feel it. See, many people are in bondage to the system of religion. An amazing thing I realized when I was growing up, that everybody was religion except us. So when we were talking about religion, unless we were singing, give me that old time religion, we were really talking about everybody but us. We weren't religious. No. The system of religion is everyone that is living according to somebody else's rules, living according to somebody else's creeds and the way that they have laid down. You see, the people knew God only as the Father in the New Testament of the Bible. That's the only way they knew him, because he fathered them. And he created them as a father. But if you look in there's nothing there about sons. Not in the Old Testament. You see, it wasn't the world, but it was the system of religion. Now remember, that's organization. Organization. But it wasn't the world, it was a system of religion that stirred up the people against the man Jesus. That was religion. It was the Pharisees, which at that time were the most religious people of that day. They were the authority. And they were the ones that stirred up the people to crucify Jesus. This is how powerful that religion can be when you get it in your mind. Jesus would go out and feed thousands. Jesus would walk around and raise the dead. Open blind eyes. Walk on water. But in 3 days, religion had so pictured him that they put him up against a notorious thief named Barabbas and said, you all decide, which one do we crucify? These same ones that had followed him started yelling, give us Barabbas. Give us the thief. Give us the guy that's stolen from us. Give us the most notorious thief that we know and crucify Jesus. That's what religion will do to you. You see, if Jesus would have fallen into the hands of Pilate, then he would have been set free, because Pilate was not a religious man. Matter of fact, when they finally sent him to Pilate, he sent him back and said, I can't find anything wrong with this guy. I find no fault in him. I don't know why you all are getting stirred up. We have these people show up every year at this feast. And we crucify. Why is he any different than them? That's how Pilate felt. But Pilate was not a religious man. Now, when you have time, read Matthew 13, 9 through 16 in your Bible. I'm not going to read it because it's several verses. But it's talking about hearing. There is a difference between hearing the sound and hearing the message. There's a difference. A lot of you that, well, I think most of you that are watching me, you hear the message. But there are people that watch me that think I'm entertaining, or like we told about, somebody said that, sent me a post that he would have unfriended me eons ago, except he loves Sam. That's hearing the sound. But most of you are listening and hearing the message. People have been going to church for years, for most of their life, for years, and haven't been able to see the God in them. Whoa. If you'll be honest with yourself this morning, if you will look realistically at yourself this morning, there's always been something about religion did not rest with you. You had questions and you felt guilty about your questions. But you were questioning what the preachers were telling you. You were questioning how the church acted and how they treated other people. Why? Because you were there with a message. You were there and didn't even realize you were looking for that God, and found out that he is in you. You see, when you start seeing the God in you, then you have too much to see the faults in people. That's one of the first things you're going to notice. You start loving people you couldn't stand before. Why? You're recognizing the God in you. Since we're upsetting some of you, might as well really do it. See, if you don't get a hold of heaven, then you're going to live in hell. And I'm not talking about when you die. You know, people, Christians especially, they talk about walking in heavenly realms. Well, if you can walk in heavenly realms, you can walk in hellish realms. Somebody asked me one time, said, do you believe in hell? I said, I've had enough hell in my life to believe in hell, but not like you. You see, hell is not a room or a place that you're going to end up going to and being tortured throughout eternity. It is a spiritual realm. Oh, this is heavy stuff today, but I'm going to give it to you. Heaven is a spiritual realm. It's a spiritual realm. Heaven is not a locality. I mean, we got citizens sending spacecraft into outer space now. One of the first things that, the Russians, when they sent up their thing, one of the first things they came back and said, hey, we didn't see any heaven. Heaven is a spiritual realm. It's not a place, or it's not something you go to physically, but it is a realm that you come into. Now, in those scriptures I was telling you about, Jesus said in Matthew that they have ears but could not hear it, but you hear it. Why? Why are you able to hear it? Because you are hearing with your spirit from the God in you. Oh, man. As far as the rest of the world that doesn't hear it, there is no message. There is no message. For those that don't have what the Bible said, ears to hear. You see, the ones that don't have ears can't hear it. And I'm not talking about these. I'm talking about your spiritual ears. And I'll take a moment and explain that to you. I used to, when I was younger and I used to preach, and if people didn't accept what I felt that I would, or what I was preaching, because I felt it was so right, and if they didn't accept it, I'd be upset. I'd be upset. And I was never a preacher like some of these that say, you know, God spoke to me on the way to church. If God had spoke to me on the way to church, I probably would have wrecked my car or something. But I knew when God put something in my heart. And I remember after one service, and I went back, I was in a crusade, and I went back, and I was in my hotel room, and I was upset. I'll be honest with you. I was very upset. I don't know what it's going to take to get this message to them, and God put in my heart. And it was pretty much, why are you getting upset? And I was responding with, because they don't accept the truth. And then God explained it to me this way. They don't accept the truth because they can't know the truth. I love them so much that I won't give them power to reject truth. Truth will make you, as the original writing said, be free. And I will not give them the power to reject that and be responsible, so they just don't hear it. They don't have ears to hear. And man, that just lifted a burden off of me. You see, what is the message? Sherry's giving me a victory sign or telling me there's 2 minutes left. I don't know which. Every time she comes here and does that, I think of Richard Nixon. What is the message? The message that we're teaching is God's plan for all creation, everyone. I don't care if you've been down to an altar. I don't care if you joined a church or haven't joined a church. God has a plan for all, A-L-L, creation. Divine health, divine wealth, life. In other words, that we can become like God. Sherry and I, we don't teach a futuristic message. That one of these days when you get to heaven, you're going to have a healthy body and streets of gold and gates of pearl. But we do teach the God in you, the same yesterday, today, and forever. That's what we teach. Most religious people think that they've heard it all and they know it all because they've heard that Jesus saves and you need to get ready for the rapture. That's pretty much the extent of their theological thinking. And because they think they know those two things, you can't talk to them. They want to get you saved and then get you ready for the rapture. But the Bible says, many are called, but that few are chosen. Man, I wish I had another hour to go on this. You see, it's being taught to you in your spirit because you are chosen. You're special. God knows you will accept. And He has chosen you. To understand this, man, I just keep going, Sharon. I got to stop somewhere. But to understand this, you must understand predestination. Now, Sherry, when you and I were preaching in churches, you didn't bring up that word. That was one of the worst words you could ever bring up in church, was being predestinated, because they didn't understand it.
It scared them.
Huh?
It scared them.
Well, I don't know what it did, but they scared me. What is predestination? It's very simple. It is to limit in advance and to have boundaries drawn out for you that you can't get outside of. You still decide your own life. But when you're chosen, God limits your choices. That's simply what predestination is. I'll tell you what, next week we're going to pick this up right there. And we're going to start with being predestinated. Heavenly Father, I thank you. I thank you for this day. I thank you for this moment. And I thank you for truth. And God, I thank you for all of the folks that have shown their love and compassion to Sherry and I. We appreciate it so much. Lord, you have given us family. Family that weren't our brothers and sisters and our parents, but they're as much our family as any. And I want you to bless them, heal them, and open up their understanding and let them know they have power. They have power to control the destiny of their lives. And I'll give you all the praise. Amen. Sherry, I didn't want to, I wasn't going to bring this up, but I feel it's really necessary. The next time these folks hear me, I will have had a birthday.
Oh boy. Yes, you will.
Yes, I will. Next Saturday is my birthday.
Next Sunday. New Year's Day.
Yeah, and when do you think the New Year's Day is?
I was thinking.
Oh, Lord.
Well, next Sunday you'll be a year older.
I don't like saying that. I like saying it's my birthday. Next thing you'll be 73. Don't tell them that.
They'd never know.
Yeah, some of them might. But anyhow, I just want to thank you all in advance, and Sherry and I really, we were thinking this week especially, Sherry, we actually have family, friends that have become family to us. Not just in California, we are over 30 years there. We have all the way back to, you have school friends you went to school with that are like family. We were in Tulsa. We have people there, and I hate to say they're like family because they're family to us. We feel their hurts. We rejoice in their joys, and we love every one of you and enjoy these holidays. God love you. Sherry loves you. I love you. God bless America.
Scott Ross says, happy birthday, my brother. You look amazing for 30.
You know, I really had a lot of respect for Scott on being truthful, but it just went down the drain.
He loves you.
I know. I love Scott, too. He's a wonderful man, wonderful person.
See you next Sunday.
We'll be here.